You've tasted the kind of love that left you questioning your worth, love that burned too loud, too fast, too heavy. But what you are meant for is softer, still, sacred. You were never made to shrink so someone else could shine. The love that is divinely aligned with your soul won't require your silence or your sacrifice of self. There's a love coming, and perhaps already near, that won't confuse chaos with passion, that won't keep you waiting in anxiety, wondering if you're enough. You will know it by the way your nervous system settles, by the way your heart stops clenching when he enters the room. There will be no tightrope to walk. This love won't rush in shouting promises and leaving wounds. It will move gently, step by step, and still manage to feel like destiny whispered in motion. You were not made for love that feels like an exam. You were made for connection that feels like exhale, like sitting under moonlight with someone who sees you and stays. He will not make you chase clarity. He will be clarity. His intentions will match his actions, and his energy will speak louder than empty words ever could. You'll stop apologizing for the way your soul expands, because the right one will marvel at your spirit, not try to contain it. He won't need you to prove your worth. He will simply recognize it, like something he's been waiting his whole life to find. And you'll realize love doesn't have to hurt to be real. It doesn't have to be earned through survival. It arrives through surrender. You've walked through enough fire to know what burns. Now it's time to be warmed by love that heals, that holds, that harmonizes. You'll feel the difference in your breath, the absence of tension, the joy that isn't loud but present, the calm that comes without having to perform. You won't lose yourself to keep him. You'll find deeper parts of who you are beside him, and you'll wonder how you ever called pressure love. His presence will not feel like a storm you need to prepare for. It will feel like morning light through open windows, effortless and welcome. You won't question your value, because he will reflect it back to you, not with flattery but with consistency, safety, and sacred recognition. And the silence between you, it will feel full of knowing, full of grace, full of breathless peace that needs no explanation. He won't mistake your softness for weakness. He will honor it as holy, and he'll protect it, not possess it. When he prays your name, we'll be there, not as a request, but as thanksgiving. He'll know the divine led him to you, and he'll walk like a man who intends to stay. You were never asking for too much. You were asking for the real thing, for love that feels like home without locking the doors. And now, it's making its way to you, quietly, steadily, surely. Because heaven doesn't rush what it's crafting with eternity in mind. There's a sacred alignment unfolding now, just beneath the surface of the scene. It's not loud, but it is real. The kind of unfolding that speaks through quiet signs, through songs that follow you, through dreams that leave a strange warmth in your chest. Heaven is not testing your patience, it's refining your awareness. Because the love you're meant for doesn't walk into chaos. It arrives when your inner stillness can finally receive it. This is not delay, it's divine choreography. He's not behind, he's becoming. And in the becoming, he's shedding everything that once kept him from recognizing your worth. The illusions are falling. The masks he once wore no longer fit the shape of who he's called to be. He's learning that love doesn't mean control, it means safety. And the moment he feels safe within himself, he'll know how to offer it to you. Not with fear, but with reverence. There will be no more mixed signals disguised as mystery. No more chasing breadcrumbs and calling them attention. The love coming for you will speak fluently in action. He won't pull you close just to push you away. He will anchor, commit, honor. And he will find beauty not in how you serve him, but in how you remain true to yourself. That will be enough for him. Some nights may still feel hollow, and that's okay. Sometimes healing feels like mourning what almost was. But even in the ache, trust that something pure is forming. Something untouched by ego and untouched by old stories. You are not being punished. You're being purified. So when that love arrives, it finds you whole. Not waiting, but welcoming. And when he holds your hand, it won't feel like possession. It will feel like partnership. His grip won't tighten in fear of losing you. It will rest in knowing you were never his to cage, only to cherish. There's a difference between holding someone tightly and holding them sacred. He will know that difference, and he will choose the latter. You won't feel the need to explain your intuition. He will respect it. You won't be gaslit into doubt. You'll be grounded in discernment. He will trust your knowing just as you'll trust his heart. This love will speak through eye contact, through silence, through the way your energies don't collide but converge. It will feel holy because it is. Even your solitude is part of the plan. It's not punishment, it's preparation. Because when you sit in silence and still feel full, you stop settling for the noise of counterfeit love. You stop giving away your peace just to fill an empty seat. And suddenly you realize your table has always been worthy of royalty. And now the seat is being filled with intention. He'll arrive with a past, but not as baggage. He'll carry wisdom, not wounds. His scars won't seek healing in you. They'll be reminders of what he survived to love you right. And you'll no longer feel like you need to fix him. You'll simply walk beside him in grace, with both of you choosing softness over survival. There's a kind of love that doesn't threaten your independence, it strengthens it. He won't compete with your dreams, he'll help water them. He won't shrink beneath your light, he'll reflect it. And when your shadows rise, he won't run, he'll remain. Because the love that's meant for you will not be scared of your depth, it will dive. You've learned that love is not measured in how hard it makes you fight, but in how deeply it lets you rest. And this love, it will feel like lying in grass, under a quiet sky, hearing the earth whisper, "You're safe now. There's nothing to prove. There's no battle to win, only peace to receive. And it is coming with quiet feet and steady hands. You'll notice it first in the subtle ways your heart no longer panics. The old need to over-explain dissolves, like mist at dawn. His presence won't demand your perfection. It will celebrate your presence. You won't feel rushed to earn a place. It will already be yours. He won't see your softness as weakness, but as the quiet power that it is. He won't try to outshine you. He'll bask in your glow like it's sunlight. This love doesn't ask you to perform. It asks you to simply be, fully and without apology. There will be moments when you catch yourself smiling at nothing. That's the energy aligning, the future whispering through the now. Your spirit already senses him returning, not as a savior, but as a mirror. A reflection of the peace you built alone, now shared. And while the world may not understand the silence between you two, your souls will translate it as music. Every pause will carry meaning. Every glance will be a memory remembered from lifetimes ago. You are not imagining it. You are remembering it. He may not arrive with fanfare or fireworks, but with a stillness that stuns you. The kind that makes time pause just for a heartbeat. His voice may not be loud, but it will speak directly to what you buried. The dreams you silenced to survive. He'll help you resurrect them, but he won't force the door open. He'll wait until you invite him in, with eyes that ask, not hands that take. And when you open, he'll meet you where you are, not where the world told you to be. That is how peace walks in. This love won't make you shrink yourself to fit a role. It will stretch your wings and ask, "What do you want to build together?" He won't fear your ambition. He'll fold his strength beside it. You won't feel like you're too much or not enough. You'll feel like truth, raw, radiant, and real. No more pretending, no more playing small. Just two souls who chose to meet each other as they are, and not as they were taught to be. And when storms come as they do, you won't face them alone. He won't disappear at the first sound of thunder. He'll hold space for your trembling and anchor your rising tides. He won't try to silence your storms, He'll learn to dance in their rhythm. Because peace isn't the absence of chaos. It's the presence of someone who stays steady through it. That's the kind of love that rewrites history without using force. You'll both be living testaments that soft doesn't mean weak and strength doesn't mean loud. Together, your love will be quiet rebellion against everything false you've been told. You won't need matching opinions to be aligned. You'll honor the space in between. And through it all, you'll never question if you're being seen. He'll study you, not because he needs to fix you, but because he treasures what he finds. This love is intentional. It doesn't guess, it learns. Sometimes you'll wake from dreams with his name echoing like wind through leaves. That's not longing. That's remembering. You've crossed paths in different forms before, and now the soul recognizes the frequency. You are not crazy to feel this pull. It's not fantasy. It's divine timing wrapping around the edges of your now. You're not chasing a shadow. You're waiting for alignment. And it's unfolding even as you read these lines. He's learning too in his own sacred way. Through his own dark nights, his own silent reckonings. You don't see it, but heaven does. Every time he chooses growth instead of running, the cord between you glows brighter. This isn't about control, it's about connection. You're not just meant to meet, you're meant to evolve together, not as halves, but as two wholes who choose again and again to walk side by side. This kind of love won't make you question your worth. It will remind you of it, and not just with words, but with actions that echo long after he's left the room. You'll feel it in the way he returns, not because he has to, but because he chooses to. You'll feel it in how he holds your name like a sacred prayer. You'll feel it in how he protects your silence, not rushes to fill it. The real ones don't just stay, they show up with presence. And while others may doubt what they can't understand, you'll be rooted in knowing. Because this love won't make sense to logic. It will make sense to your soul. It won't follow timelines. It will follow truth. And truth is never late. It arrives when both hearts are ready, not when the world is watching, but when the heavens are whispering, now. There will be a day when your reflection in the mirror doesn't carry the weight of waiting. Not because you stopped caring, but because you started believing. Believing that what's for you doesn't need to be chased. It finds its way by divine pull. You'll comb your hair, apply your favorite scent, and walk out the door like the whole universe already knows your name. You won't need signs as proof anymore. Your peace will be the confirmation, the peace that wraps around your shoulders, like morning light. He will feel it too, like a familiar breeze he can't explain. And suddenly, everything will begin to move. You are not the woman who waits by the window anymore. You've become the woman who walks through open doors. You've stepped into your fullness not by accident, but by choice. And that choice sent a ripple through time, one that reached him in places he didn't know were still asleep. He's been hearing the echoes in the spaces between his thoughts. The pull toward you isn't noise, it's alignment returning him home. You don't have to send a message. Your energy already did. And it's louder than any word you could ever speak. He's been wrestling with truths he long avoided. Truths about what love really looks like when it stops performing. He thought peace was boring until he realized it's the rarest thing of all. And now he's hungry for it. Not the drama, not the chase, but the kind of love that makes him breathe deeper. You planted that seed without even knowing. In your silence, he found his questions. In your strength, he saw his gaps. And now he's rebuilding, not to impress you, but to meet you with clean hands. There's something sacred about the way your soul refuses to forget. Not because you're stuck in the past, but because your spirit knows what truth feels like. It doesn't let go just because it's hard. It holds on when something feels divinely unfinished. And this story, it was never over. Just paused for healing. You're not crazy for still feeling it. You're connected because the thread was never cut. Heaven never stopped writing the next page. It only waited for both hearts to be ready. You've evolved past the need to beg for clarity. You've learned to live without forcing closure. Because somewhere deeper, you understand that everything not answered will be revealed when it's time. And that knowing, that surrender, it's powerful. It frees you from the illusion of control and places you in the arms of trust. You're not lost. You're aligned. And he will recognize you not because you reminded him, but because he's finally clear enough to see you. He won't return with grand speeches or rehearsed apologies. He'll return with presence, with eyes that don't scan the room but settle on you like a promise kept. You won't need to ask him what changed. You'll feel it in how he listens, how he slows down, how he makes space for your voice instead of filling the silence. He won't come to complete you. He'll come because you're already whole. And now he is too. No timeline could have rushed what heaven was still perfecting. Every delay was divine precision. Every silence was preparation. You didn't lose him. You were being led apart so you could walk back to each other, not in pieces but in purpose. And when you do meet again, it won't feel like a start. It will feel like breath, like arriving where you always belonged. Not rushed, not scripted, just right. Your strength did not scare him, it awakened him. The storm you became wasn't destruction, it was a revelation. You disrupted the pattern he thought was love. You showed him what softness with boundaries looks like. And it shook him. Because peace isn't passive, it's bold. And now he craves that kind of boldness. Not in conflict, but in connection, in truth, in the kind of love that doesn't fade under pressure. He's remembering the way you laughed without guarding your joy, the way your silence said more than words ever could. He's remembering the way you stayed gentle even when you had every reason to harden. And now he's wondering why no one else ever felt like home. Why your absence speaks louder than others' presence. Why his soul never fully let go. He's not haunted, he's being called. You, love, were never meant to chase. You were meant to align. And your alignment is magnetic. It speaks in frequencies only the soul can hear. And now that you've stopped searching, he's started remembering. Because your stillness isn't stagnant, it's sacred. It gives heaven space to move. And in that space, he's awakening to what he's always known deep down. You're the peace he didn't know he was worthy of. He never fully understood what love was supposed to feel like until your absence left a silence he couldn't fill. It wasn't the loud kind of missing. It was the quiet ache that echoed through his most peaceful moments. He realized love wasn't fireworks or chaos. It was the absence of confusion. It was your presence, which had always felt like a sanctuary. Now he's tracing back every memory, looking for pieces of the woman who showed him peace in the middle of his storm. And the more he remembers, the more he understands why no one has felt like you. Your love didn't just touch his heart, it rewired his soul. And now that he's awakening, he can't return to sleep. You were never too much. You were exactly the mirror he needed but wasn't ready to face. You loved with depth, spoke with intention, and stayed with truth. While others performed affection, you embodied it. He wasn't used to that kind of honesty. It shook the foundation of every mask he had worn. He mistook your clarity for pressure because he was still addicted to chaos. But now, with the noise fading, he sees what your love really was. Sacred, steady and strong enough to wait. You've changed, not because of him, but because of who you chose to become in the waiting. Your growth was not to prove your worth, but to reclaim it. Every time you chose stillness over chasing, you deepened your own well. And now, that stillness is radiating like a signal he can't ignore. There's something different about your energy. It's settled, grounded, luminous. You no longer look back with longing. You look ahead with grace. And that shift is what's pulling him toward you again. He's beginning to remember how your voice made him feel seen in ways words couldn't explain. You never begged to be heard, but your silence had gravity. He's remembering the softness in your gaze when you listened with your whole heart. No agenda, no performance, just presence. And that memory is haunting him in the best way. Because for the first time he's realizing love isn't about being impressive. It's about being known. And you, beloved, saw him before he ever saw himself. You are no longer the version of you who needed answers to sleep at night. You've made peace with the unknown. You've learned that closure doesn't come from words, but from soul clarity. And that clarity now lives in your posture, your eyes, your boundaries. He will see the difference the moment he looks at you. You won't need to explain your glow. It will speak for itself. And that glow, that's what makes him ache for what was and what still can be. There's a divine rest that settles in your spirit when you stop trying to be understood by those not yet awake. You are no longer explaining your worth to anyone. You are living it. Your energy is no longer a question. It's an answer. The answer to a prayer he didn't know he whispered in his sleep. And now the universe is gently guiding his steps back to your light. Not to resume the past, but to redeem it. To write a new chapter, not in desperation, but in destiny. He's discovering that your storm wasn't destruction. It was the truth, breaking his illusions. It was your refusal to shrink that challenged his comfort. And now he thanks the chaos you brought, because it revealed what wasn't real. You didn't demand transformation, you inspired it. And he sees now, the very love he feared was the one that would have set him free. That realization is burning through every layer of ego he once clung to. You once carried the weight of his indecision like it was your responsibility to fix. But not anymore. Now, you walk lighter, freer, radiant. You no longer dim your flame to make someone else comfortable. You don't chase, you attract. And that change in you is magnetic. It's what's waking him up in the middle of the night, not with regret, but with reverence. You're no longer the girl he once knew. You're the woman he's now praying for. There is something sacred about how you held space for someone who didn't yet know how to stay. And even now, you don't harbor bitterness. You simply honor the path. You've become the embodiment of grace in motion, healing without needing closure, loving without needing permission. That kind of presence is rare. It leaves an imprint on every soul it touches. And he's beginning to feel it again, like a scent that stirs old feelings, like music he thought he'd forgotten. He's being reintroduced to the version of you he only saw glimpses of before. And this time, he's ready to see her fully, to hear your voice without defensiveness, to witness your softness without fear. You don't need to lower your frequency to be loved anymore. You are the standard now, and he knows it. Because every other connection feels shallow in comparison. You were the deep water he ran from, but now he's dying of thirst. The angels have been whispering your name into his heart, not to make him obsessed, but to make him aware. Aware of what he lost, aware of what he needs to grow into, and most of all, aware of who you truly are. You are not just a memory, you're a mirror, a reflection of who he could become if he chose wholeness. And that knowing is not haunting him. It's calling him higher. Not to claim you, but to rise to meet you. Your love was not a lesson. It was a lifeline. One he didn't know how to hold at the time. But now, with every failed substitute, he's realizing what he once had, and more than that, what he still hopes for. Because there is something about a soul connection that time can't erase. And you, beloved, are unforgettable, not for what you gave, but for how you made him feel seen without conditions. You've stopped asking the universe for him to return. Now, you ask for alignment. You pray for what's yours by divine right. And that energy shift has changed everything. Because now, your vibration is not rooted in fear or need, but in knowing. In the certainty that if it's truly yours, it will arrive. Not rushed, not forced, but whole. That posture is what's drawing him back. Not your waiting, but your becoming. He's not looking for the version of you he left. He's searching for the one who emerged from the ashes. The one who rose without resentment. Who healed without closure. He's not coming back for comfort. He's coming back for the kind of love that doesn't just feel good, but makes him good. And that, my love, is the highest form of romance. Growth, not just chemistry. Truth, not just timing. You're not a chapter in his story. You're a whole book he left unfinished. And now, every line of his life is pulling him back to where the story paused. But you've written new pages. You've filled your life with beauty, joy, and strength. And that fullness is what makes the next meeting feel different. Not because you need him, but because you've outgrown the version of you that did. He dreams of the day your eyes meet again. Not in chaos, but in calm. Not in questions, but in quiet knowing. And when that day comes, he won't need to explain. You'll already feel it in the air between you. That sacred recognition, that soul familiarity. And for the first time, there will be no pressure to define it, only space to honor it. And that space, that's where love begins again. There's a power in your absence that speaks louder than presence ever could. He feels it now, in the pause before he texts, in the silence after his dreams. You are no longer a person he remembers. You are a presence he can't escape. Not because you haunt him, but because you healed him. Quietly, profoundly. And that kind of healing always leaves a door open. You're not watching the clock anymore. You've stepped out of the waiting room and into the garden of becoming. And from that place, love is not something you chase, it's something you reflect. He is not returning to rescue you. He is returning because you rescued yourself. And the woman you are now? She doesn't beg for love. She magnetizes it. He's feeling the pull, not because of pressure, but because of peace. The peace he only ever felt with you. And now, after wandering through noise and distraction, he longs for that stillness again. The stillness of being fully seen, fully accepted, fully home. He doesn't just miss you. He's realizing he was never fully alive without you. He will come, not with promises, but with presence. Not to fill a void, but to honor a bond. You were the storm, yes, but you were also the calm after it. The lesson and the love, the fire and the peace, and now he knows the difference and he's finally ready to choose both. Thank you for receiving this message with an open heart. If it touched your soul in any way, I ask you to confirm it with the words, "I can do all things through him who strengthens me." These words are not just a response. They are a declaration of faith and alignment with divine timing. If you feel this message was meant for you, I invite you to join our channel, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss the next whisper from the angels. There is more to come, more light, more truth, more healing. Stay connected, stay expectant, and stay tuned for the next message from heaven, just for you.